Larry was lovely. He was funny, kind, and had a great big smile. He loved life. Larry developed Parkinson's in 2013. By 2017, he got very poor mobility and he wasn't able to speak. He was invited to join the Living Well programme. Larry loved going to the hospice. The minute he went through the doors, he would have a massive grin on his face. It was somewhere that he could be Larry. There were times when I was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I could ring the hospice and there was somebody there to help me. It's like this great big hug. When Larry's condition deteriorated, that he could no longer actually visit the hospice, St Richard's came to us. Larry had been very ill. He'd been in hospital, so he had a very lonely couple of weeks. Somebody from St Richard's rang and said, "We remember that Larry liked cricket. Would you like to come to the county ground for the day?" We were met at the door, taken up to the members' suite, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea. Larry lapped it up. To be out in the air, to watch the match, and just to feel he was special for that day. Oh, well, you can see by his smile. He was having such a good time. This is the spot where we sat to watch the match. It's full of memories. It brings back lovely moments with my husband. I don't think Larry would have lived so long if we'd just been left to sort ourselves out. And I'm always grateful for everything that St Richard's did. They made our life wonderful. And I hope they can carry on doing that for other people.
Once upon a time, I went on a magical adventure where I travelled through time, explored great buildings, and made lots of new friends. There are forests, rivers, and ice cream. My story was one of excitement and wonder. And what happens next? Well, that's your chapter. Make Worcestershire part of your story.
And you go to the dinner, but it's quite a lot of work every home game, and you have to it's the one I take the most trouble over because you've got to get it really right, haven't you?
I saw a note Doug wanted to do that for a magazine or something. Did you see that email?
No.
And then the season
review for Wisdom is obviously you've really got to get that right. It's the one I take the most trouble. Hi, it's Frank. Sorry to be a pain, but I've still got Malcolm. Okay, thanks. Cheers. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New Road. Play about to begin on day 3 and probably the final day of this game between Worcestershire and Sussex. Head with the night watchman Ben Gibbon and wicketkeeper Gareth Roderick at the crease. And guess who's going to bowl from the Diglis end? I bet you can't. It's Ollie Robinson coming in to bowl the first ball of day 3, and it's a run as Roderick just turns it on the leg side. So Worcestershire go to 271 for 6. Their aim, no doubt, is to get that lead up past 100 if they possibly can, maybe even a bit more and maybe then get a couple of early wickets and just turn this game around. Remember, they had a first innings deficit of 227, so highly difficult to come back from that. But they've batted much better second time around. Ben Gibbon, the night watchman, on 13, is on strike as Robinson moves in and bowls to him, and that's down the leg side, taken by John Simpson, moving across to his left. Beautiful, absolutely glorious morning here at Visit Worcestershire New Road. Blue skies, bit of white cloud, quite warm. Not many spectators in, not surprisingly, I suppose. Could well be the last day of the season, and if it is, we must enjoy it and make the most of it, because, as we said yesterday, it's a long winter. Here comes Robinson again from the Digley 70 bowls, and Gibbon is Gibbon, it is still Gibbon, is leaning forward and letting that go outside the off stump. So Worcestershire relegated, but winners of the One Day Cup. We had a good debate yesterday as to whether that constitutes a good season or not. I think the feeling was amongst the supporters that it does constitute a good season, because you can always get promoted again, but cups don't come along that frequently. Robinson in bowls, and Gibbon lets that go, and is hit on the pad, and he's out. LBW, an error of judgment from Ben Gibbon. Played no shot, taken on the pad, and Worcestershire lose the first wicket of the third day. Ollie Robinson gets his third wicket of the innings. I'm just watching a replay now. Yeah, it's hit him outside the line, but he's offering no shot. It's nipping back, and Ben Gibbon, the night watchman, did a good job last night as night watchman, but he goes in the first over this morning, and Worcestershire are 271 for 7. Ben Gibbon has gone for 13, and the lead is just 44. So the worst possible start really for Worcestershire this morning, and it brings Matthew Waite out to the crease somewhat sooner than he would have hoped. And Ollie Robinson, who loves bowling on this ground, takes his third wicket of the innings. He got 6 in the first innings. He got 14 last time he was here 2 years ago. And he continues in this game to show us why some people think that he is pretty unfortunate not still to be involved in the England setup, possibly to be in the Ashes squad for the forthcoming series. Matthew Waite then comes to the crease, fresh from his heroics at Trent Bridge last Saturday. Made 33 in the first innings. He was LBW2, this bowler, and he waits now as Robinson bowls, and he's off the mark straight away, clipping this one through square leg for a couple. So 273 for 7. If you want to get in touch at any point during the day, and I'm going to be coming up with a new quiz question, the final one of the season, very shortly. Adrian Harms from BBC Radio Sussex, my colleague today, has an email address dedicated, sussexsport@bbc.co.uk. I'm on X, formerly Twitter, as @FrankWatson58, and you can get in touch via either of those means. Robinson bowls, Waite pushes up to mid-on, and there's no run, and we haven't got much time to the end of the first over of the day, the wicket going down. So here it is, the quiz question for today, the final one of the season. It's a cracker, this one, I reckon, even though I say it myself. Here you go. What is the link between two games? Two cricket matches have a link, and that link is what I want, is the answer. The first is a game here in 1986 between Worcestershire and Somerset. It was a NatWest Trophy semi-final. I was here, I remember it very well, and there's a link between that game and the game between England and Queensland on the Gold Coast in 1991. So what's the link between England, Queensland, 1991, and Worcestershire, Somerset? And that was semi 1986. Here's Adrian.
J. Devon Newcat into the attack this morning, bowls and clipped away nicely. That's a lovely looking shot by Gareth Roderick. That's going to be the first boundary of the day. Slightly over pitch by Newcat, and Roderick very quick to clip that one away through mid wicket for a boundary. He goes to 24 of Worcestershire to 277 for 7, which means their lead is exactly 50. I just wonder whether we might see some hard hitting here from Matthew Waite, maybe Tom Taylor as well, give Worcestershire some sort of a lead, and you never know in the wonderful game of county cricket. The crowd not as big as it was over the first couple of days, understandably, because perhaps people thinking, well, there may not be a whole lot of action today, but as I say, you just don't know, particularly with people like Waite and Taylor around. They're players who can turn matches. Sussex already with a wicket this morning. Ollie Robinson with his 9th of the match. He does enjoy it here as Newcat is in bowls and forward comes. Roderick plays down the offside of the track.
I've upset somebody already, Adrian.
Oh dear, go on.
Somebody on the live chat has said, Frank, stop being a pain.
Really?
What have I done, Craig? What have I done? What have I said? All I've done is commentate on the first over.
Newcat. And again, bowls and good delivery, pacey delivery that Roderick thinks about playing and then lets the ball go through to John Simpson, and there is no run. We've probably bored our listeners to tears this week about the weather down here in Worcestershire. I think it is meant to get a little cloudier as the day goes on. In fact, I think in the southeast of England that cloud is spreading right across to the Midlands as the day goes on. But at the moment, it is the most beautiful morning. And I had a lovely morning actually, Frank. I got up early, had a wander along the banks of the River Severn. I walked to Digley's Bridge, past the newly installed fish ladder.
Yep.
As in comes a Newcat bowls, and Roderick turns it onto the onside, picks up a single fielded by Haynes. But not before Roderick goes through for his 25th run, the total to 278 for 7. I crossed the bridge and walked back down the other side, and then I walked up to the cathedral, and it doesn't open until 10 o'clock. How lovely actually that a cathedral as well, he said there's no charge to get in. So many cathedrals you go to these days, there is a charge to go in, but there was a gentleman who was doing some sweeping up in front of the church, and I said I couldn't just have a little peep inside, could I? And he said, of course you can. So I went inside and sat down for 3 or 4 minutes, had a bit of reflection, and wandered back to the hotel. So it was all very pleasant indeed. In comes a Newcat, bowls, and Waite is beaten outside the off stump with delivery by J. Devon Newcat into the gloves. I also looked at the I saw this big spire, which I think is the spire of St Andrew's Church. Would that be right?
Yeah, just the spire
just
is
the spire.
left, yeah.
I think the rest was burnt down many years ago, but the spire was there. Can I just say as well, people, the local authority, they do get a bit of stick, don't they? Certainly, well, the local authorities where I do get a bit of stick, but around here they probably do as well. But to be fair, there was lots of people out streaming and picking up paper and litter and bits and pieces today, so it all looked very neat and tidy. A Newcat in bowls and Waite defends into the offside. There is no run. It is the end of the over. Ollie Robinson wants something bought out, and Dan Ibrahim is doing the honours for whatever Ollie Robinson wants. I'm not sure I think this might be a wristband or something, or a sweatband. So, end of the over, 278 for 7. So I enjoyed Worcester immensely. A lot of people out cycling along the river. There were people running. There were people walking their dogs.
Yeah.
There were people just walking along with their headphones in. People, I would presume, going to work. It was just a very pleasant morning. And the fish ladder was being built last time I was down, but it's all finished now.
Yeah, it's a lovely part of the city, that walk, and on a Sunday morning there's families out and joggers and dog walkers. Really pleasant if the weather's good. New over beginning, Robinson from the Digley end to Roderick, and lovely clip off the pads by Roderick for a single out to square leg, takes the total on to 279 for 7. Apologies, I've just been told by one of my commentary colleagues that you could hear me when I rang into the studio and asked them to cut the cue in my headphones. And the problem is, what happens is, if you're wondering, your watching, especially if you're watching the live stream, you're hearing our BBC radio commentary. We actually had one comment yesterday said, why do we have to have radio commentary on the pictures? Why don't they shut up? Robinson Bowles, left alone by Waite. Well, it's because we are doing radio commentary, and they then lift that commentary and use it for the pictures. And just before the game starts, I was doing a report for the radio where I talked to the presenter in the studio, and I can obviously hear that programme in my headphones, and sometimes they forget to cut that cue, so we're sitting here trying to commentate on the cricket, but we're listening to a radio programme in our headphones, which can be quite difficult. So I had to ring the studio and ask them to cut that feed. Robinson Bowles, Waite drives loosely actually on the offside up to mid-off, no run. And so you probably heard me say to the studio, I'm sorry to be a pain, but could you cut the cue? And so that's what it was, if you wonder what it was. Thanks to Chris Ammons, my good friend, for pointing that out to me. He's been there, so he knows exactly what was going on. Anyway, all is now as it should be, we hope, as Ollie Robinson comes in with just 2 slips in place to bowl to Waite, who lets that one go outside the off stump. Talking of letting it go, that's what happened when Ben Gibbon was out LBW in Robinson's last over. Let the ball go and found that it just nipped back, and although it hit him outside the line, in the umpire's opinion, the ball would have gone on to hit the stumps. He wasn't offering a shot, and therefore he can be adjudged LBW. Here's Robinson again in the sunshine. Bowls to Waite, who is forward and pushing this one back up the pitch, and there's no run this time. Craig Stunt told me how I was being a pain, but never mind.
They just managed to scoot through for 1 there, actually, Frank.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They just
Sorry, I saw him block it and didn't notice.
No,
Thank you.
That's all right. No, well, actually, I was sort of slightly obscured by the post as well.
Waite goes to 2. Goes to 3, I would imagine, if he got a single.
They definitely took a
Roderick's
single.
now on strike. Yeah, the board's not changed yet. Roderick steers this one rather uncertainly down the offside. Pick up and a throw by Tom Alsop at backward point, but they're through for another single. Scoreboard definitely appears to have locked for a moment. Well, no, it's sorted now. Waite's on 3. Roderick is now on 26. And Worcestershire are 280 for 7 at the end of that over, the 3rd of the day. So they lead by 53 runs.
And it's going to be J. Devon Woodcat who's going to bowl his 2nd over of the morning. Which way are we looking here, Frank?
We are looking south.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
There's a low-level cloud sort of sneaking across, but it's a lovely morning as J. Devon Woodcat comes into bowl to the right-handed Gareth Roderick, who's played very nicely for his 27. And Woodcat is in, bowls, and Roderick defends from the crease, plays out into the offside. There is no run the field, there are 2 slips, a 3rd man, cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, a deep square leg and a fine leg.
Oh no, they've got the commentator come on, Adrian. Don't pick your nose.
Oh dear. Right. It shows us.
Not anymore.
I'm glad
but it is switched on, so we need to be aware.
Right, I'm glad I put on my best shirt then.
Yeah, you look very smart.
Do I?
Yeah, very nice shirt.
A new cat, a pile of sawdust just behind him as he runs away from us. In and bowls and caught. That's a good catch. James Coles, I mean, he really is a very, very fine slip fielder, low to his left-hand side, and he wasn't going to miss that. And the 2nd wicket of the morning goes down, and it's Gareth Roderick. Another wicket for J. Devon Woodcat. Good delivery. Roderick probably felt he had to play it, and it's low to James Coles' left, and he is an excellent slip fielder, is James Coles, and he never looked like he was going to drop it. And Roderick goes for 27, and a 2nd wicket of the morning goes down, and Worcestershire are 261 for 8. Sorry, 281 for 8.
Yeah, and hastening, I'm afraid, towards a defeat in this one. general feeling around the ground was that although, stranger things have happened and games get turned around, that they'd probably get knocked over this morning, given how well these two have bowled in particular. I mean, there's a massive difference between the bowling of Robinson and Udcat, who between them have taken 6 wickets in this innings so far, and between them took all 10 in the first innings. There's a big difference between the challenge posed by those two and that posed by the rest of the Sussex attack.
Well, they've taken, of the 18 wickets that have fallen, they've taken 17 between them.
Yeah.
Danny Lamb picking up the other wicket, so without wishing to be disrespectful in any way to the change bowlers in this match, the harsh reality is that Udcat and Robinson have been a cut above anything else that Sussex have had bowling wise. Yeah,
they've bowled really, really well. Excellent stuff from these two. And Udcat now has figures of 21.2 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 75, almost identical really. Robinson 25 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 73. And have looked at my lawn this morning, Adrian. I thought probably could do with a cut, and there's a bit of rain forecast tomorrow. I thought maybe this afternoon it might happen.
Well, bit of rain, bit of sunshine, and the grass goes berserk at this time of year, Frank.
Yeah.
I've got a very small garden, so it doesn't take me long to whiz the mower over. But
could find myself out there this afternoon, unfortunately. I'd rather be here.
J. Devon Udcat coming into bowl to Tom Taylor in and bowls, and Taylor defends into the offside. They think about a single, but Matthew Waite was halfway down the track, but it isn't there. In fact, I noticed there's a bit of rain around tomorrow, and I think Sunday down in our neck of the woods is a little bit grey early on. I think the forecast for next week is lovely. First week of October, I think the forecast is really very good. And it can often be a lovely month.
It absolutely can.
I mean, I remember on my 60th birthday going down to West Wittering, which is a lovely beach down near Chichester, and going for a swim on my birthday in October.
Yeah, it can absolutely.
It was freezing. In comes into cat bowls, Taylor drive. That's a lovely shot. Beautiful shot. What a lovely way to get off the mark. Over pitched, and Taylor didn't hammer the ball. He just timed it beautifully through mid-on for 4 runs. I do like Tom Taylor as a cricketer. He's, as I say, I saw him a couple of years ago win a one-day game for Northamptonshire against Sussex when he just smashed the ball all around the ground. He's, I think you were saying, the leading wicket taker in Division 1 of the county championship, which is no mean achievement. And that was just a beautiful shot. I think of a lovely on drive from a right-hander. And Udcat in again, round the wicket bowls, and Taylor just lifts the bat high out of the way. It goes through to John Simpson, and there is no run. 285 for 8. Take off that 227, and I think you find the lead is 58. As the sun just becomes a little watery over New Road. Yes, I was walking along the banks of the Severn this morning, Frank, and I was sort of, it all looked serene with the swans, and I was thinking, what it must be like when the rain comes, and it's sometimes difficult to imagine how
quickly
it changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Udcat in and bowls, and Taylor just plays this very confidently down to fine leg and picks up a single, fielded by Eric Avelos. So this will be his last day playing for Sussex, being released at the end of the season. Very pleasant man is Ari, and I wish him well in his future career or whatever life brings for Eric Avelos. He's a lovely man, and his partner and young child as well, and a very popular figure around Hove. But it's the nature of professional sport, isn't it, that people move on and changes are made. But he's a very popular figure, and it's been a pleasure to have known Harry, so I wish him well in whatever comes next for him.
Ollie Robinson to continue from the Diglis end. Given that the wickets are tumbling, I'm going to hasten on with the quiz. I haven't had any answers yet. I don't know if you have.
Oh,
it's a tough one, I think, this morning.
Yeah, you're a hard taskmaster.
Well, that Google makes it so difficult to come up with quiz questions that people can't just get. Anyway, it's a linky. If you've ever played that game, Linky, it's a cracking game. Linky, what's the link between two matches? Robinson bowls. Taylor is pushing up to mid-on, and there's no run. So, NatWest Trophy semi-final here, 1986. Sussex were the visitors, and the victors over Worcestershire in that game. So 86, NatWest semi-final here, Worcestershire against Somerset. There's a link between that game and England against Queensland at the Carrara Oval on the Gold Coast on the England tour of 1991. What's the link? Robinson in, bowls, Taylor turns him on the leg side for a single, which takes him on to 6. Waite has 3, Worcestershire 287 for 8. And the way to get in touch, at Frank Watson 58 on Twitter, that's my handle, or Sussex Sport at bbc.co.uk. And you're going to say you've got an answer, are you?
No, I was just going to say that I did hear you talking about the answer when I came to the
okay.
So I sort of know
it.
I sort of know the answer.
Yeah.
I don't really, and I guess I know the connection as well.
Yeah,
but I would have never.
Well,
guessed
if
it.
you get the connection, that's it. It's anyway, bit of fun. Robinson bowls outside the off stump, left alone by Waite, and through to the keeper. It's a tricky one today, I think. I try and make them tricky, but not too tricky. A few people got the one yesterday, didn't they? So
they did.
That was a good effort. If you missed that one yesterday, it was what 2-letter abbreviation links Mark Faber and who was the other link? I've forgotten. Anyway, I'll come to it in a minute. Yeah, Mark Faber, the Sussex batsman, and Imran Khan it was. What's the link? And the 2-letter link, as Waite lets this one go. So there's the 2-letter link was PM, Prime Minister, because Imran, Prime Minister of Pakistan, and Mark Faber, the former Sussex batsman, who sadly passed away at the age of 40, I think. He was the grandson of the former British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan. So PM was the link yesterday, if you missed it. But today it's a link between the Worcester Sussex NatWest semi here in 86 and England Queensland at the Carrara Oval on the Gold Coast in 1991. Robinson bowls and Waite is out. LBW. That looked a good shot even from here. He's back on, stuck in the crease, maybe just a little bit back on the back foot, and a nip back, and he was playing a shot but it almost defeated his shot. Just hurried onto him. And I think he knew straight away, Matthew Waite, maybe just hoping that he might just have been outside the line, but Worcestershire are being hastened towards defeat here. 3 wickets have gone down in just 25 minutes this morning. Matthew Waite, the latest to go for 3. Ollie Robinson picks up another one. He really does love bowling here, and it's 287 for 9.
And it's 10 in the match.
In fact,
for
it's
Robinson.
Tom Taylor, I think, that's out, not Matthew Waite. I beg your pardon.
Tom Taylor.
No, it's Matthew Waite. I thought it was Matthew Waite. The scoreboard is wrong. It's Matthew Waite.
Yeah, it says there now, Matthew Waite. Yeah. So 10 in the match for Ollie Robinson. So it's good opening up. As I say, I did say to you before we came on air, Frank, that I thought Sussex may be pretty fired up this morning. I just got the general feeling that the coaching staff weren't desperately happy with the way that Sussex went about their business yesterday afternoon, and I don't know. That was just my perception. That so they've come out all guns blazing this morning, and Robinson and Nudcat have taken 18 of the 19 wickets to fall in the innings. Oh,
Ollie Robinson. Do you fancy a game next week, Ollie? Where are you playing? Worcester? Yeah, I'll come along.
well, he certainly enjoys it here.
Yeah, that's not surprisingly. I mean, 14 last time he was here. And 10 this time. So
Jerry Luck's been in touch for Northumberland, and he says, I'm enjoying the commentary, but I think Kyle Abbott now leads Tom Taylor
does he?
as the leading wicket taker. So thank you, Jerry, and also thank you to Graham Butler, who's been in touch from Hove. I know you sent your email last night, Graham, but he says thank you for the commentary. Appreciate how you enable us to follow the team away online. Sussex have done well in Division 1 this season and can build on this next season. Thank you, Graham. Lovely to have your company throughout the season.
Yeah, they have done well.
Robertson picks up another one, as he does, caught behind, successive deliveries, the innings is over, Ben Allison is out without scoring, and Sussex have picked up 4 wickets this morning, and Ollie Robinson has picked up 11 in the match, 6 in the first innings, 5 in the second innings. Between Nudcat and Robinson, they've taken 19 of the 20 wickets to fall, and Sussex will need 61 to to win this final match of the season here at Worcester.
Wow. Didn't take long, did it? First ball for Allison, caught by Simpson. And I tell you what, I watched the replay of that, and if you needed any confirmation, Adrian, if you needed any confirmation that was out, Tom Taylor, the non-striker, started walking off straight away before it was even given out. Ollie Robinson walks off with the ball raised. He's got a 5-foot. He takes the applause of the crowd. 26 overs, 5 maidens, 5 for 74, following his first innings effort of 15.4 overs, no maidens, 6 for 68. So absolutely tremendous stuff from him. Tom Taylor was unbeaten on 6. Worcestershire have been completely blown away this morning. 287 all out, so they've lost their last 4 wickets this morning for the addition of just 17 runs, and Sussex will have a pretty straightforward target of 61 runs to win when they begin their second innings very, very shortly. Just to finish the bowling figures, Robinson 26 overs, 5 maidens, 5 for 74, and Nadcat, the other wicket taker this morning, 22 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 80. The men out this morning: Ben Gibbon LBW to Robinson for 13, Gareth Roderick caught by Coles at second slip off and Nadcat for 27, and then Waite LBW Robinson 3, and Allison caught behind by Simpson off Robinson first ball. Taylor finished 6 not out. There were 12 extras. 5 of them were penalty runs, 4 byes and 3 leg byes, and Worcestershire's total all out in exactly 75 overs, 287. Sussex needs 61 to win. We'll be back to bring you commentary on that when it begins. Their attempted run chase begins in about 7 or 8 minutes time. Phil Tibbs has been in touch. He says, is the link Tony Pygott? No, it isn't. The link I'm looking for is between 2 matches: NatWest Trophy semi-final 1986 here, Worcestershire against Sussex, England, Queensland, Carrara Oval on the Gold Coast in 1991. Have a think, get in touch if you want to have a go, and we'll be back shortly. this morning in 5 overs for the addition of 17 runs. The men out: Gibbon 13, Roderick 27, Waite 3 and Allison 0. Taylor was 6 not out. Sussex needs 61 runs to win. And the run rate they require, Adrian, is 0.33 runs per over. They have a minimum of 185 overs to get these runs. A meaningless statistic. Tom Taylor will open the bowling for Worcestershire, and Dan Hughes will be on strike. His opening partner Tom Haynes. And Worcestershire, they look a pretty dejected bunch out there at the moment, to be fair. 3 slips, hands in pockets. Ethan Brooks, Rob Jones, Ben Allison. The rest of the field fairly well spread as Taylor comes in from the Diglis end and bowls, and the first ball of the innings is blocked by Hughes, goes out on the offside. So Worcestershire, who will have had some hopes this morning of building their lead past 3 figures, have actually lost a wicket in the very first over, and it was downhill from there. Excellent bowling again from the admirable Ollie Robinson. Taylor round the wicket bowls. Hughes lets that go outside the off stump, and there's no addition. So this will now be, I think we can say safely, the last day of the season here at New Road. It remains a season that Worcestershire will remember for all the right reasons, because they've got silverware, and that doesn't happen very often. But they've finished bottom of the championship. I think the general feeling is that they're not quite as far away as they look when you look at the points table, given where they've been in several games. As Hughes is beaten outside the off stump by Taylor, but as we said repeatedly yesterday, the table doesn't lie really, and you know, it is what it is. They've finished bottom, and they've got relegated, and they will be there'll be a lot of investigation and analysis and thoughts about what's gone wrong and what might have gone better and how they might have improved things, and they'll be trying to put things right next year and get back up.
A ticking off for the commentator, namely me, which I shall apologise in a minute. I've had a couple of emails through.
There's no hiding place, isn't there? Taylor bowls down the leg side, taken by Roderick.
Both Stephen and Graham have been in touch, who have pointed out that Anudkat and Robertson didn't take 19 wickets between them, they took 18. I'd forgotten that Tom Haynes took a wicket yesterday,
that's right,
as did Lanny Lamb. So apologies all 18 of the 20, so apologies for getting that wrong. However, what I would say is that I think it did point out that it made the point that really those two were a cut above the rest of the Sussex bowling in this match, and Ollie Robinson this morning virtually unplayable really, bowling with all the old pace and aggression.
Taylor in bowls outside the off stump, left alone by Hughes, and no run yet scored in this attempt to score 61 to win.
And it just makes me think that if if Sussex could keep Ollie fit for a season, there's such a good bowler in there when he's bowled like he has it. I know he enjoys this ground. I know it's been a pitch that has offered him some help, but he is a very fine bowler, and he could be key to Sussex consolidating next season.
Absolutely. They've had a good season. Got to repeat it at least next year. As Hughes is beaten by a no ball, and might even have got a nick on it, I don't know, but a no ball is signalled, so the first runs of the innings are on the board. Doesn't bowl many no balls, but umpire David Milnes quick to call that one. Taylor had a little chat on the way back, said, how far over was I don't bowl many.
John Malone is in a cloudy Bexhill-on-Sea. He says, thank you for the commentary and banter, lads, on the stream. His question for you, Frank, he said, has the buildings and hotel on the ground added to the flooding issues at New Road, or is it historic? He says, safe trip back, Adrian Winterwell, lads. Thank you, John. Okay,
Taylor round the wicket, bowls, Hughes forward, end of the over. So just the 2 from the no ball from that first over, 2 without loss. No, I don't think the hotel's made any difference to the flooding. What has made a difference according to the experts from the Environment Agency and everything else, is global warming. And I think, as I said the other day, flood defences further upstream in towns like Ironbridge and Bridge North, Bewdley, have been effective, but that water's got to go somewhere, and it comes down here, and things have got worse down here in recent years. The thing I've noticed more than anything else, and I speak as a non-scientist but a resident of Worcester, is the frequency of the flooding. It always used to happen. It's part of Worcester's history, but it didn't happen as frequently as it has in the last few years. It seems really that it's flooded as often as it's not in the winter.
As in comes
Alison.
And Alison from the New Road end, Bowles to Daniel Hughes, taken down the lakeside by Gareth Roderick, and there is no run. It did promise to be cloudy here today, and that cloud has come in quite quickly. It's very high level. There is some rain to come in this neck of the woods, I think later on tomorrow, but I think although it's meant to be cloudy today, it's meant to be dry.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Certainly not as the sun has suddenly disappeared, and there's a blanket of cloud as Alison is in bowls to Hughes, who I thought had nudged that one down the lakeside. A good tumbling take by Roderick. He didn't take the ball cleanly, but he saved the ball running away for 4 byes. 3 slips in place. There's a backward point cover mid-off, mid-on, deep backward square, and a fine leg. And we just ought to say, because things go by quite quickly in these sort of games, thank you to everybody throughout the season who's been in touch. We get a lot of email correspondence. I know Frank gets correspondence as well, and it's hugely appreciated, and hopefully makes the commentary more interesting. As in comes Alison Bowles. Hughes again takes a step down the wicket, looks to clip that ball away down the leg side, misses out, taken by Roderick, and there is no run. And it gives us different things to talk about as the day goes on, and it's fabulous. So thank you all very much. And the good news is that the BBC and the ECB have a commentary deal in place now for the next 3 seasons. So whereas this time last year there was a bit of doubt about what would be happening, we now know there's a deal in place. And so all being well and God willing and everything else, we'll all be back in April. As in comes Alison Bowles. Good delivery. Hughes is forward. That's a habit of Daniel Hughes. When he plays the ball just in front of him, he's very keen to pick the ball up and give it to the bowler, and he tried to on that occasion, but Alison said, no, don't worry, I'll pick it up for you. So yes, thank you, basically, was what we're saying.
Yeah, very much so, absolutely. Wouldn't be any good if there was nobody listening. And a bit of feedback every now and again is very much appreciated. Nobody's had a go at the quiz, not on my Twitter.
No, not on mine either. No.
Maybe I've got to. I'll give a clue, shall I? Because we won't have much longer to play with it.
Alison in bowls to Hughes down the leg side, again taken by Roderick, moving smartly across to his right as the ball goes down the leg side. Hasn't quite got his line right here as Alison. I think Daniel Hughes will be a little annoyed he hasn't managed to tuck a couple of these down to the fine leg boundary.
So I'll give a little clue. I'm looking for the link between Worcestershire, Sussex, NatWest Semi here 86 and England, Queensland 91 on the Gold Coast. Well, that game between England and Queensland is very famous. That's a clue. There aren't many games between England and Queensland that are very famous.
Alison in bowls. Hughes beats him as he caught behind. There's a loud appeal. I'm presuming that was an appeal for caught behind, unless the ball flicked the pad on the way through and it was an appeal for leg before wicket. But either way, the appeal is turned down. Daniel Hughes survives. Good opening overs though by Taylor and Alison, who looks a good acquisition for Worcestershire. Big strong man, bowls with good pace. At the end of the over, Sussex are 2 without loss, but those runs both courtesy of a no ball, so neither Haynes or Hughes have so far scored a run off the bat.
Yep. So if you want to have a go at that, and some people might get it now, I've given that big clue. Very famous, that game between England and Queensland. Why would that be? Sussex Sport at bbc.co.uk or at Frank Robinson 58. Tom Taylor round the wicket starts his second over, the third of the innings, and Tom Haynes is forward pushing this out on the offside. bit of a kind of difficult situation for openers in this situation, because really, I mean, what they want to do is just get a nice little knot out, or get a nice little 25, 20 knot out, and make sure you get there, but on a hiding to nothing really, because if you do get out, you're probably still going to win the game, but your stats are damaged, so you've got a chance of boosting your average, but you've also got a chance of it being reduced. Taylor bowls, LBW appealed as Haynes pushes forward. I think they knew that wasn't out. They're going to appeal for everything at the moment, I think, just to try and make early inroads. And that might be the most obvious thing in the world. You've got a chance of boosting your average or having it damaged. That's the same with every innings, but I think you know what I mean. Ideally, these two will be thinking, well, you know, we'll have this wrapped up by 12:15, and I'll have got myself a nice little 25-30 knot out. But it'll be tough for these first few overs. Taylor's not amongst the leading wicket takers in the division without reason. Bowls again, and this one is a leg bye as it goes away on the leg side off Tom Haynes' pad. Looking at the replay of that one before, it wasn't that far away. It might have just bounced a bit too much, but it looked a reasonable shout. 3 without loss then. 58 more needed. Earlier this morning, Worcestershire blown away, losing 4 wickets for the addition of 17 runs this morning, 3 of them falling to the irresistible Ollie Robinson. Here's Taylor again round the wicket. Bowls, and that's left alone by Hughes, taken by Roderick.
David Milner has been in touch, Frank. He has said, and I'm presuming this is an answer to your quiz question, Graham Hick. Is that the link?
No, it's not a player. I'll give that, because Phil Tibbs said, was it Tony Pygate? It's not. The link isn't a player. The link is to do with something that happened. That's another clue.
I think this may be along the right lines. I'll get Frank to read. This is from Adrian, as in comes. Sorry, I took your commentary. I don't mean to do that.
That's
Frank.
all right.
Playing a miss
outside the off stump. Yeah, taken by Roderick.
Thanks for your great work with the season's cricket coverage. Thoroughly informative and enjoyable. Thank you, Adrian. I believe the link for today's quiz is, which he puts down, as a lifelong Sussex supporter, I was there at New Road in the 1986 game along with one of my cricket teammates, an avid Worcester fan.
Yeah, it's not that, exactly that. He's on the right lines, but it isn't.
So
it isn't quite as specific.
Can I read what Adrian has said?
Probably not.
Okay. You might give it away.
Yeah, Taylor again in bowls, and that's the first boundary of the day. Bit of width, and Hughes, who made 14 in the first innings, drives square of the wicket on the offside to the boundary. First really loose delivery of the innings, and he capitalises to the tune of 4 runs. So 7 without loss, Sussex, and they require a further 54 runs to win.
Richard has been in touch, and I think you're on the right track as well, Richard. He says he's got one part of it back.
Yeah.
The England-Queensland match is absolutely right, but he says I'm not sure how that ties in with the semi-final.
Right. Well, if you combine that with the other answer, Adrian, you've got the correct one. Yeah.
Peter says, was it because it was a 10-wicket victory? No, that isn't right, Peter.
No. We'll give it another half an hour or so, and then I'll give the answer. But the first two are both along the right lines, aren't they?
In comes Allison, bowls to Tom Haynes, who plays uppishly onto the leg side, but he picks up a single. Does Haynes? He's on his way. He's on 1. Sussex 7 without loss. They need 61 to win as the season draws to a close here at New Road. This would be Sussex's 4th county championship win of the season, and would make it look as if it's been a comfortable season for Sussex. Initially it was. They won 3 of their first 7, but really dropped off in the second half of the season, and 2 heavy defeats against Essex, one at Hove and then at Scarborough, just had Sussex looking over their shoulders a little going into these final 3 games of the season. In comes as a bowls, hits Hughes on Haynes rather on the, get it right Adrian, Hughes on the pad looking to clip that away on the leg side, and there is no run.
it's one of those sorts of targets, this, isn't it, where it'll be tight for 10 overs or so, and there might be, they try and get an early breakthrough or whatever, but if they don't get to about 30 and then suddenly just need a couple of big shots and they race towards victory, don't you? We've seen it lots of times. I'm pretty certain that's the sort of pattern that this is going to follow.
Allison again around the wicket, bowls to Hughes, who takes a step down the wicket and plays a rather rash shot. He was going to cut that way. It's given as a wide. Gareth Roderick diving in front of second slip, but a wide is given. So runs to the total, which goes to 9. Yes, I think from a summary of Sussex's season, good start and a different spell when they were heavily beaten, and then 2 draws. The game against Hampshire at Hove, I think, could have been nip and tuck. Rain intervened, and I think Sussex might have struggled to score the runs they need. And then a draw against Yorkshire. In comes Allison bowls. Hughes cracks that one away. That's 4 runs. That's a lovely shot. Wide outside the off stump. He's absolutely belted that away through point for 4 runs. Hughes goes to 8. And Sussex to 13 without loss. But a couple of new recruits coming to Sussex next season. Tom Price and Dom Goodman coming from Gloucestershire. A bit of talk about whether Sussex will want to strengthen the batting resources. Number 3 has been a problem all season, really. Tom Clark started very well, but then rather fell away, and that's an area that will need addressing before next season. So it looks like comfortable mid-season, and 4 wins is a good return. But certainly there'll be work to do during the winter months, and I think the players are back in November. I think they have a month off.
Yeah.
And then
pretty much the same.
Those that aren't going away on various travels, will be back in the gym in November. In comes Allison bowls. Hughes cuts away straight to the fielder at cover, and there is no run. And then I think pretty much from Christmas on, then it all really ramps up. But 1 or 2 will be going away, I'm sure, to warmer climes. I think 1 or 2 are staying at home as well, having had quite a lot of cricket and bit of recovery. I think Tom Clark, I know, has had a minor operation to his shoulder, and he'll be doing some recovery. Let's hope Sean Hunt will be okay for next season as well, with his latest unfortunate injury. Allison in bowls. Hughes takes a step down the wicket and then plays that nicely down towards third man. I think it's going to make it all the way to the boundary. It does. Nicely played by Daniel Hughes, who took a couple of steps down the wicket and opened the face and glided the ball down to
it's
third man for 4 runs. He goes
the charge has started, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, he goes to 7. Sorry, he goes to 12. The total to 17 without loss. Craig has been in touch. Thank you for the commentary this year. He says a big thank you to Isaac, Jack, and the stream team at Sussex, who have brought us the best quality we've seen at Hove. Win to well, all Sussex fans, and see you in April. Yes, thank you, Craig, and yes, and well done to Isaac and Jack, who have done a very good job on. There's only a couple of them who put the stream together at Sussex. They've done a great job. Allison in bowls to Hughes. That's another boundary. He's absolutely middled that. He's crunched that away through extra cover as Daniel Hughes, who's finishing the season with a bit of a flourish here. He goes to 16, and Sussex are 21 without loss.
That was a cracking shot, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
A really good shot. Hammered, absolutely hammered, as was the first boundary of the over. 12 from the over, 21 without loss, 40 more needed. Is it going to last till noon, Adrian, let alone lunchtime? It really
13
isn't going to last very. I don't think any of us really expected it to go quite as quickly as it has this morning in terms of the way the game's progressed. It's been that kind of game, though, hasn't it? It really has. Even in the first innings, there were a lot of boundaries, even in that very low-scoring Worcestershire first innings. Taylor bowls past the outside edge with a good delivery, and the ball's beaten the bat fairly regularly throughout the game. There've been a high proportion of boundaries for both sides, and even though it's going to end up being a heavy defeat for Worcestershire, everything about the game has been fast. It's like a game played at 1.5 times speed on video or something. Everything seems to have happened in a rush, really. Taylor again bowls, and Haynes plays out on the offside. And when it happens like that, I sometimes think you can get caught up in it.
Yes.
When you're batting and think, I've got to be hitting boundaries, rather than just sort of playing sensibly. Which is why John Simpson's innings stands out for me from the whole game. Been some good innings in the Worcestershire second innings as well, but Simpson's innings, he didn't get caught up in it. He played in his own way, at his own pace. It was a very, very important innings.
Oh,
This
good
one
catch.
was
What a great catch.
Brilliant catch by Rob Jones in the slips. Absolutely superb. Rob Jones is a great fielder. He's a great catcher. Very, very keen to sort of turn himself into the number one slip fielder here at Worcestershire, and I think he's done that, and he has absolutely flown. He's not the tallest.
Brilliant catch.
High up to his left, two-handed, an absolute stunner from Rob Jones. So the first wicket goes down. The man out is Tom Haynes. He made just one, and Sussex are 21 for 1.
Well, that was a stonking catch, wasn't it? Really very, very fine catch indeed. But a disappointing end to the season for Tom Haynes. He started off the season really well, a couple of big hundreds at Hove, but his last time he passed 50, looking at my records, was at Taunton in May, and since then he hasn't made the volume of runs that he would have hoped. He did play for the Lions in the summer, played in those two matches against India at Canterbury and Northampton. Whether he's done enough to retain that place and get a trip out to Australia, we'll have to see. But he'd have been hoping to finish the season, with a flourish. But he's on his way for one, albeit through an absolutely brilliant catch by Rob Jones. You won't see too many better than that. That was really very good indeed.
It really was. Tom Taylor has now taken I think I'm right in saying that's his 55th wicket of the season. That's a good return, isn't it, for any bowler in Division 1.
Very good.
Kyle Abbott might just have gone past him at the top of the table, but 55 wickets these days in Division 1, a pretty good effort. And here he is looking for his 56th. He comes in and he bowls to Ollie Carter, who's immediately moving across his stumps and working the ball away on the leg side for a single. What sort of a season's Ollie Carter had, is it?
He hasn't had a great deal of opportunity, is the honest truth. Played up at Trent Bridge where he batted very well. He sort of seems to come into the side, but others are perhaps not in form. But batting around 3 in the Championship is tough, and he, when he's had the opportunity, perhaps hasn't made the runs. But it's difficult for him because he's sort of in and out of the side really. He's got a very, very good defence, Ollie Carter. Is he a Division 1 county number 3? I'm not sure.
I feel from a bit. I'll tell you why in a minute. Taylor bowls, and that's driven nicely back up the pitch by Hughes. Taylor might have got a hand on it at the stumps of the non-strikers end. There was a question as to whether Carter might have been out of his ground. I like Ollie Carter as a keeper. I've seen him keep obviously quite a few times, and I always thought he was quite a good keeper and could bat sort of 6 or 7 if he got the gloves, and could have a really good career as a county keeper. But of course you signed John Simpson, who's an absolute top class operator, and immediately Carter knows that his keeping future is pretty much at an end unless he moves somewhere else. So then he's going to knuckle down and try and play as a batter. Taylor bowls, Hughes drives nicely to mid-on, no run, and I think that's quite a kick in the teeth for a cricketer in his how old is he? Mid-20s, something like that, I would guess. To suddenly find, you're not going to get the gloves anymore. That must be really quite hard to cope with, I think. 22 for 1 at the end of the over.
23 at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I have to check out when Ollie's birthday is.
But you know what I mean.
Yes, I mean, I think he came into the side and took over when Ben Brown was skipper of the side, and under a previous regime they decided Ben shouldn't have the gloves. which I thought was the wrong decision. That wasn't a great decision by Sussex. Ollie took the gloves, and he did well enough, but I think Sussex, if I'm being honest, I think Sussex needed another keeper. I think he did well, but they needed a top-class keeper, and that's what John Simpson bought them. In comes Allison over the wicket bowls. Carter is beaten outside the off stump through to keeper.
But you're a keeper who's probably hoping to forge a career as a county cricketer, and then suddenly, you're not a keeper anymore.
And it could well be that his time will come again. John Simpson can't go on forever. I think John's 37 now. One thing about Ollie Carter is he's a very, very good team man. You always see him running around. I think he's pretty easy to manage. I don't think he gets. I don't think he's one for sort of banging on the coach's door and saying, "Why am I playing?" And he's a very, very good team man. Is Ollie Carter. Here comes Allison, bowls, takes a step down the wicket, looks to glide that one down to finally good tumbling take by Roderick, and there is no run. Allison wanders back to his mark. Oh, I've gone to do my update, sorry.
Oh, right, okay. Here's Allison into Carter, bowls, and Carter is covering up, playing that one defensively back up the pitch to the bowler.
Well, Tim, that was quick than I thought.
I've updated it.
Yeah.
22 for 1 then. Sussex needing just 61 to win. Expecting them to wrap it up before lunch. As Ben Allison moves away from us again. Bowls, and once again Carter is just in behind this one and playing it defensively down on the onside. He's on 1, Hughes on 16. The man out, Tom Haynes, caught brilliantly by Rob Jones at second slip off the bowling of Taylor for 1. Earlier today, Worcestershire losing their last 4 wickets for 17 runs. Ollie Robinson picking up 3 more. Finished with 5 for 74 and 11 in the match. Allison in once again, bowls, and Carter is working this one away on the onside, and there's no run. It's fielded at mid-wicket by Dan Latigan. So the last day of the season here at New Road, last day of the county cricket season as far as Worcestershire and Sussex are concerned, last day of coverage from us here at Worcester. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you. Allison in over the wicket, bowls. Carter works to the mid-wicket fielder Latigan again, and there's no run. End of the over, 22 for 1. We've enjoyed bringing you commentary on the BBC Sports app, on BBC Sounds, on the live stream, on the One Day Cup, on the T20s. I think everybody's enjoyed the season one way or another. At the end of the day, it's a game, and win, lose, promotion, relegation, whatever it might be, we do well to remember that, and remember that it's a long winter, so make the most of the summers. And the live stream service, which is now operated by nearly every county, bringing pretty much free coverage as Taylor bowls and is pushed out on the offside by the left-handed Hughes, and there's no run on YouTube and on the BBC Sports app. I mean, it's fantastic being able to listen to every single county cricket game, live commentary on the BBC Sports app, and that contract in place for another 3 seasons. Something that we all enjoy when we're not actually doing it ourselves, not actually doing the commentary. You can follow the fortunes of all the counties. Brilliant. Hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly enjoy doing it, and long may the BBC, in my opinion, be bringing cricket to the fan, the county cricket fan. This one pushed away on the offside again by Hughes, and there's no run. And the season just flies by. It really does not seem any time since the 4th of April, and I drove down to Taunton to join Anthony Gibson for the commentary on Somerset Worcestershire in that very first game, and that was an epic game that was just saved by batting throughout that final day. It's Taylor round the wicket from the Diglis end, bowls to Hughes, who is beaten by an absolute beauty outside the off stump, pitched and left him, left-hander just feeling for it outside the off stump, and made no contact. Taken by Gareth Roderick behind the stumps. Glyn Barrington's been in touch, says, echoing others' comments. Thanks for the commentaries throughout the season. It's been great to follow the pairs. Thanks, Glyn. Yeah, as I agree. I use the service myself to follow the pairs if it's games I'm not at. As Taylor bowls and hits Hughes on the pad, there's a strangled appeal for LBW, turned down, well, not really taken seriously, not really continued by the fielders, and there's no addition. But yeah, it's a great service, I think, and long may it continue, whoever's behind the microphone. Lots of miles covered, lots of hours spent watching cricket, but as I say, it's a very long winter and we will all miss it. Taylor is in, round the wicket, bowls, Hughes drives, thick inside edge, wide of Libby at mid-on. Libby moving to his left, makes the save, and there's no run. And as the winter starts, we also bear in mind that Brett D'Oliveira, who was out there this morning, I noticed, on crutches with his leg encased in one of those plastic boots. A bit of rehab for him, and also for Adam Hose, who injured himself so badly in the 100. Happy to see him again on crutches with his leg in a boot at Trent Bridge last Saturday as part of the squad, the one-day final. As we see a wicket for Tom Taylor, not the sort of wicket that he expects to take, but a trap set, a man out on the square leg boundary, it's over pitched on leg stump, it's picked up beautifully by Hughes, timed it to perfection, but Ben Gibbon on the rope just inside the boundary at square leg hardly had to move as the ball dropped into his hands, and he takes the catch, and Hughes, in the most unlikely fashion, having been beaten by one that's gone past the outside edge, has just picked it up straight into the hands of Gibbon on the square leg boundary, and he's gone for 16. So Worcestershire at least striking a couple of times, and Sussex have lost 2 wickets in the space of 3 overs, and Tom Taylor's picked them both up, and he continues to thrive in terms of the bowling charts. Ben Gibbon taking the catch, and Daniel Hughes is the man dismissed. So Sussex not having it all their own way. They will surely still reach their target of 61 to win, but they have lost a couple of wickets. They are 22 for 2, and Tom Taylor's picked up both of those wickets. 7 overs gone, and well, James Coles, the centurion from the first innings, comes out now to join Ollie Carter. That was the end of the over from Taylor, and Ben Allison will continue to bowl to Carter. Bowled him a maiden last time, 3 overs, 2 maidens, no wicket for 14 for Allison, who bowls down the leg side, and that's 4 leg byes, pretty loose delivery from Allison, misdirected, flicked Carter's thigh pad, and 4 cheap runs as far as Worcestershire are concerned, which you don't really want when you've only got a target of 61 on the board, and in fact that's 8 extras already in the 26 runs that are on the board. But at least a couple of wickets taken. Tom Taylor has picked them both up, and he continues to power away, trying to catch Kyle Abbott. May even have overtaken him now, I don't know, at the top of the wickets charts. With another couple this morning. He's well past 50 now. Here's Allison, looking to be a bit straighter, and he is a bit straighter. And Ollie Carter, who is on 1, pushes up to mid-off, and there's no addition to the score. So Haynes out, caught by Jones, a brilliant catch at second slip for 1, and Hughes out to a very straightforward catch for Ben Gibbon on the square leg boundary off the bowling of Taylor for 16.
Well, I think huge credit to Worcestershire, because it was very easy to come out here just 61 needed to win and think, oh well. But actually, they've bowled well. I mean, Taylor in particular, and they're making Sussex work for it. So, well done, Worcester.
Allison again is in, bowls to Carter again down the leg side. He struggled a bit. Allison bowling at the right-handers. Started with the 2 lefties, and he was a little bit straighter, a little bit more where he'd want to be. But at the moment, just struggling a bit with his line, and Carter unable to get anything on that. So 26 for 2. While you were doing your update, Adrian, I was just reflecting on the season and just saying how happy we are that we're able to bring this service to the listeners and the viewers for the next 3 seasons at least, as far as the BBC is concerned. Carter gets a quick single, pushing out on the offside, well judged, as he saw that he'd pierced the gap between Isaac at cover and Libby at mid-off. Hurried through, but yeah, great to think. I mean, it seems no time since the 4th of April when we all started, and I don't know, the winter drags by and the summer flies by. That's how it seems to me anyway. But we'll be back, all being well, as you said earlier, next April with an unchanged county championship. Sussex and Worcestershire won't be playing each other because they'll be in different divisions, but the service will still be there. Allison in, bowls, and he's got another wicket. This one, Coles, well, you know what, cricket, what a funny old game it is, mother cricket and all that. James Coles, 100 in the first innings, a first baller in this second innings. He's just chipped a catch up to mid-wicket. Ball maybe just appeared to stop in the surface a little bit. Isaac Mohammed at mid-wicket, jumping, taking the catch, two-handed above his head. And James Coles, 100 in the first innings, first baller in the second, 27 for 3.
Well, there you go. It's a funny old game, isn't it? And we did... when you get situations like this, you suddenly think to yourself, I wonder if the Worcester lads are thinking, we could have got another 50 or 60. This might have been really interesting. But
they will be thinking that. And you know what? I mean, you've heard me say it several times, Adrian, and the listeners are probably fed up with it. Even Rob Jones said it last night in his interview. You look back on the season and you think, we've got relegated, we finished a long way short at the bottom of the table. Has it really been that bad? And then you say, well, you know what? If we'd have got another 50 against Sussex, or if we'd have just got another.
Well, they lost by 47 down at Hove.
Exactly.
That
they're in games and then they lose them.
And that was a really pivotal game, because had Worcestershire won that game, that would have put a bit of pressure on Sussex. They then went to Hampshire and won convincingly. But I just felt that was Sussex had 2 wins then, which was really important. Well, again, Worcestershire, I think, their first win of the season. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was Dan Latigan, by the way, who took the catch, not Isaac. Dan Latigan at mid-wicket.
Oh, right, okay. Just to say, in terms of that wicket table, Kyle Abbott 56, Tom Taylor 55, according to the info I've got here.
Yeah, there we go. Ben Allison has got over 40 now, I think, with that one. It's 27 for 3 as he comes in round the wicket now to the new man, who is Tom Alsop, who is beaten first up by an absolute beauty from Ben Allison. They're going to go off and they're going to say exactly what you've just said, I reckon, Adrian.
Yeah.
If only we got another 40, 50, could have made a game of it.
39 wickets, Ben Allison. Now that may not include the one in this over, but he's got 39. Ollie Robinson's got 39.
No, it doesn't include it. So 40.
So 40. Well, that's a good return.
Yeah,
40 at 29.4. That's a good return. He's played in all 14 matches.
Yeah.
As has this fella, Tom Taylor, who's running in from the Digley's end to bowl to Carter, who's Plays it onto the onside. I'm sure that didn't go off the pad actually. Perhaps that's my eyes deceiving me. It was my eyes. Visit to Specsavers or somewhere needed in the winter, but 1 to Carter. So he goes to 3. Well, Sussex were cruising, weren't they? 21 without loss, and here they are, 28 for 3. I mean, I say it's inconceivable they could lose from here, but it's a funny old game, isn't it? And
well, I don't think they'll lose, but as you say, Worcestershire might.
Well done, Worcester.
For goodness me, if we'd have just got another 50 in the first innings, even.
Well, we're all thinking we'd be done and dusted here by lunch. I mean, we might. I thought the umpires might decide to, if there's a chance of a result, they might want to stay out. But who knows? Taylor in, bowls to Alsop, beats Alsop, all ends up caught on the crease. Tom Alsop, the ball rattles through to keeper Roderick, and there is no run. I do like Tom Taylor. I've said it several times in this match. He's just a wholehearted, good all-round cricketer. And what a terrific signing for Worcestershire. And he can win you games with ball and bat. Turns at the far end of the ground under grey skies now here at New Road. In and bowled, and Alsop works this to backward point. There is no run. All of a sudden, runs have completely dried up for Sussex. We had that over where Daniel Hughes hit 3 boundaries, and it all looked very, very straightforward.
Yeah. Well, Allison, 4 overs, 2 mains, 1 for 15. 14 of those were in that 1 over.
There you go.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's a funny old game, as they say.
But there you go, James Coles, 100 in the first innings, first bowler in the second.
Yeah. Taylor in bowls. Alsop lets that one go outside of the off stump, and there is no run. Haynes for 1, Hughes 16, Carter 3, not out. Coles, as Frank was saying, a first bowler. Just joining us, live cricket here on the BBC. Sussex rolling Worcester out for 287 this morning. Ollie Robertson taking 10 in the match, and Nugcat taking 8. It all looked very straightforward for Sussex, but they're making a bit of a Horlicks of this, really. But against very good Worcestershire bowling, it has to be said, on what is almost certainly the last day of the season, unless it rains. Taylor in again, bowls. That's a full toss, and also can't take advantage of it. Looking to clip the ball away through the leg side. He was rather squared up and plays the ball back down the pitch. And there is no. Oh, lots of emails have come in. Chris Taylor says, "Dear Adrian, on the last day of the season, thanks for the commentary throughout. Always fair and even-handed. You show as much interest in the opponents as in the Sussex players." That's very kind of you to say. Hope you have a good winter and look forward to more of the same in April. Thank you, Chris. That's very kind of you. Hugh Johnson the same says, "Thank you for a wonderful cricket commentary and the end of day interviews. I really enjoy them." It's his 50th year as a Sussex fan. In comes Taylor, bowls. Also, it's gone as well. There goes another wicket. Well, this is extraordinary. A brilliant catch, low down. Tom Taylor picks up his 3rd wicket. Ben Allison with the catch. And all of a sudden, Sussex are 28 for 4.
It's mad.
It couldn't,
isn't it?
could it? It couldn't, Frank, could it?
I don't think so, because I think it only needs somebody to come in and play a couple of shots. But that thing you said about Worcestershire feeling that if they'd have just got another 50, they are really going to think that. I think if they end up losing by 3 wickets or something like that. But an amazing effort. Tom Alsop's gone for 0. Another wicket for Taylor, last ball of the over, 28 for 4, and Tom Taylor's determined to keep up the pressure at the top of that wicket taking table, I reckon. But I tell you what, here's the man who's going to change it all.
John Simpson. Just to say, Martin Mahoney's been in touch from High Wycombe. Thank you, Martin, for your kind message. That's really very good of you. Thank you indeed. And Graham Barber similarly says, enjoyed the live commentary. He says, I tend to listen to Anthony Gibson on the Somerset commentary if Sussex aren't playing this season. I've missed Sussex v Glamorgan, but have that to look forward to next season. Strange to think that 50 years ago we would have been sitting in physics lessons with our end of season battered Playfair cricket annuals testing one another on cricket records. Now working from home, live scorecard on the computer screen, work on the other screens, live commentary on. Life is good, says Graham as he tots up his numbers. as an accountant. Graham, thank you so much for getting in touch. This is extraordinary. I mean, Sussex were 21 without loss. They're now 28 for 4. We were thinking we'd be done and dusted by lunch and packed up on our way home, with Sussex with a 4th win of the season. That could still be the case, but my word, all credit to Worcestershire.
Ben Allison to start a new over, bowling to Ollie Carter. And again, he's erring on the leg side a little bit. Carter just helps it down to fine leg for a single. Happy to get to the other end, I should think. Ollie Carter goes to 4.
I bet there's some pretty frantic padding up going on in the Sussex. You can just imagine, can't you? 1 and 2 are probably thinking, all right, get changed now. But Worcester are having none of it. Well, there you go. Not for the first time. John Simpson is coming in.
Now, if he were to get out cheaply, then I think Worcestershire might just think, you know what, we might pull off a miracle here. But I don't think that's liable to happen. No pressure on him, of course, as Taylor comes in and bowls. Allison comes in and bowls, I beg your pardon, and he's rather uncertainly pushing this one out.
Do you know, I think
on the offside.
So that fielder is just moving into a short house. I think I might have someone in there. You know, the odd one has popped today. You know.
Well, that one that got James Cole's appeared just to sort of stop in the service a little bit, didn't it? And Dan Latigan took the catch at mid wicket. But stranger things have happened. I mean, you know, the history of cricket is littered with these sort of stories, but it's unlikely. Allison in, bowls to Simpson, who is off the mark with a boundary, I think, down to 3rd man. It's off the edge but raced away, and that's what I mean. That's the trouble, isn't it, when you've only got 60 odd on the board, a couple of those and everything changes. But they've made a go of it, Worcestershire, and as you said, Adrian, they'll just be kicking themselves that they didn't get it past 100 or something like that. They certainly thought they could do that this morning, and all credit to Ollie Robinson, because it was him that blew them away this morning, ending with 5 for 74, 3 wickets this morning. 33 for 4 then. Simpson off the mark. Allison into him now, bowls, and he's pushing this one defensively back up the pitch. But at least it's made it an interesting hour or so, rather than one where we just see the game fade away, really.
It has, and it has to be said that, you know, there have been occasions this year where there have been concern around the Sussex top order, and you know, no one, I think, at Hove will be going into the winter thinking, the top 6 are nailed down next season, because they ain't. And I'm sure that is something that Paul Farbrace will be only too well aware of.
Allison in again, bowls, and Simpson plays defensive. Now, Joan has been in touch. He says, as of that 4th Sussex wicket, Tom Taylor is 1 wicket ahead of Abbott.
Ooh. But
Abbott can only get 1 more. So only Jack Leach could overtake Tom Taylor. It doesn't really matter, but it's a nice little thing to say, isn't it?
We'll have a look.
If you turn around at the end of the season and say, well, I was the top wicket taker in Division 1, I think that's a pretty good effort.
I think when you consider some of the quality of the bowlers around the First Division, I think it's a magnificent effort.
Allison moving away from us. Big, tall man. Nice, easy run up. He bowls down the leg side. 4 more. Simpson just clips it away, and it's that error of line again which has cost Allison. It's leg buys, actually. Simpson just moved inside it, but it's the line that has cost him. And 8 runs came from that over, which suddenly, with only 61 required, changes things, doesn't it? 37 for 4, so, you know, just 24 more needed now. There's been hiccups along the way, and there's 4 Sussex batters sat in there who've got out, who are kicking themselves, but it isn't going to change the overall result, I wouldn't have thought. But Taylor will be striving for another one as he comes in from the Diglis end.
Stuart's been in touch from Sussex, and he says, I believe all the Sussex wickets have fallen since I turned on the live stream. Despite the commentary, I may turn off until the end. See you next season, says Stuart. Keep listening, Stuart. I mean, you know, clearly I would like Sussex to win. Frank would like Worcester to win, and you would like Sussex to win, Stuart, but stay with us, because it's the last day of the season, and it's a terrific way to end. And this fella Tom Taylor has been magnificent. 3 for 8 in his 5 overs. He's roaring in from the Digley's end. Bowls to Carter, who's solidly forward. Plays down the onside of the track. It's actually quite reassuring to see Ollie Carter out there. You were talking about him earlier, Frank. I mean, he does have a very good defence. Perhaps doesn't score the volume of runs that he would like, but he gets into line, and it's actually quite a reassuring sight for Sussex at the minute to see Ollie Carter out there, you know. Leading wicket taker, Tom now 1 ahead with 1 Surrey wicket up for grabs, says Jerry in Northumberland. Thank you, Jerry. Kevin Ticehurst has been in contact. Hello, Kevin. In comes Taylor again, bowls to Carter, who's forward, head right over the ball and plays the ball defensively down the offside with the track no run. He's enjoyed the commentary. We've survived, which was the main mission. Now the aim to push on again next season. Yep, I agree. I always felt that if you're coming up to the First Division, it's a little bit like in football. You're coming from the Championship to the Premier League, and if you can stay up, then you can build on what you've done. A little bit like the Albion have done, really, in football. And Sussex need to do that next season. 1 or 2 new faces. Taylor again in bowls. Carter is forward, took a couple of steps forward, plays to mid-wicket, and there is no run. Carter making sure he gets absolutely in line. Taylor, the wicket sounded like a broken record. He looks like the sort of cricketer to me, Frank, who probably thinks Worcester can still win this game. He does, though. You know, he's absolutely roaring in. I mean, it's unlikely, but you know, when you've got someone who's wholehearted in your side like that, it's terrific. Here he comes again. In and bowls. Carter was right in behind the ball, just short of a length, plays it back down the track.
When Worcester played Notts, I interviewed Tom Taylor, and we were talking about the battle between Notts and Surrey at the top of the table, and his brother, of course, James plays for Surrey, and I said, you know, any kind of feeling that you want to put one over on Notts to help your brother down at Surrey, to help them get over the line. And he just looked at me as though I was mad. He said, no, that he can take care of himself. Got no issues at all.
Ooh, goes past the outside edge to Taylor. And Carter was rather groping at thin air then as that rattled into the gloves of Gareth Roderick.
He said, you know, that was the farthest thing from his mind, was helping his brother. He said he's got enough winners' medals he can manage on his own. He said, I'm only concerned with Worcestershire. So there you go. No. Well, there's a bit of sibling rivalry, but he's a pro. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Really, Adrian. He's an absolute pro.
He is, totally. Taylor in again, bowls, and Carter's going to get runs down to third man. He's taken one. They ought to come back for a second. There's a comfortable second chasing back from the slip court is
Isaac Mohammed.
Thank you. To Carter, who goes to 6 of 19 deliveries, which matters not a jot. 39 for 4 at the end of Taylor's over. 6 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 10. Sussex 39 for 4. They need another 22 to win this match.
Right, time for the quiz answer, I think.
Yep.
Link between Worcestershire, Sussex, NatWest Semi here 1986 and England, Queensland, Carrara Oval, Gold Coast 1991. What links the two games? That was the question. 1 or 2 people have got close. Allison in to bowl to Simpson. That one pops and takes Simpson a blow on the hand.
There was a short leg.
Hand off the bat. Bit of pain there. If there'd been a short leg, as Adrian says, it would have been taken. As it is, they get a single. 40 for 4, I think, with that one. Indeed, 21 more needed. And that was a nasty one.
It was.
Wicketkeeper, you don't want to get a blow on your hand like that, but it is the end of the season, so you've got plenty of time to recover. Anyway, the answer to the quiz, well, the England-Queensland game is the clue, because that was the game that is world famous because of the tiger moth incident. So David Gower and John Morris, if you remember, flew a tiger moth over the ground. And what links that game to the Sussex game here in '86 is break off as Allison bowls, and that's nicely driven by Carter, but Bowler does his own fielding. The pitch was wet and there was a big crowd in, and they were desperate to get the game underway here at New Road. It was a packed house actually, and the start was delayed by a damp pitch, so they brought in a helicopter, and the helicopter hovered about 2 or 3 feet off the ground and went up and down the pitch, and they used the air from the downdraft from the rotor blades in an attempt to dry the pitch. I don't think it did a lot of good. Carter turns Allison for a single on the leg side. But anyway, Sussex won, and the link is flying machines, basically. It might be a bit spurious, but, try not to make them too easy. Good luck if you got it. Let me know if you did at Frank Watson 58, or you can get in touch with Adrian, as many of you have. sussexsport@bbc.co.uk. Last few minutes of the season, I suspect, but it was flying machines was the link. So there you go. Not quite a cricketing link, but an interesting one. Simpson drives this next one from Allison up to Libby at mid-on. And there's no run. 41 for 4 it remains. 20 more needed, so we will be finished before lunch. And Adrian, you'll be home by supper time.
Well, it depends if I get up Birdlip Hill. The traffic was awful going the other way when I went.
Friday as well.
But,
never good on a Friday, is it?
Yeah, but
you won't have to rush anyway.
No. There goes the clock at the cathedral.
Allison again is in. Simpson pushes up to mid-off. Just the man you want coming in when you've got a little bit of a wobble on, I reckon, don't you?
Nice to get a message through from Joffrey Archer's stepdad over in Barbados. He said he very much enjoyed Sussex doing well in this game. Came over and saw a bit of cricket. And of course, we all wish Joffrey well in the Ashes. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see him roaring in and taking some wickets in the next couple of months. Good luck to you, Patrick. Thanks for getting in touch.
Allison in again, bowls, and this one is again worked up to mid on by Simpson. No run, end of the over, 41 for 4. Here's another. This is a really spurious link, Adrian, but Joffrey Archer's stepdad in Barbados, flying machines, Worcestershire, Ricky Elcock.
Oh, of course,
former Ricky Elcock came and spoke to us here at the Cricket Society in the winter. Became an airline pilot with Virgin Atlantic, I think. And,
yes.
A Bajan, and not the only Barbadian airline pilot. There were 2 of them. I think he went to the same school a few years apart. Both ended up flying for Virgin. So the links continue.
Here comes Tom Taylor. He's roaring in to bowl to Ollie Carter. Carter beaten outside the off stump. Ball whistles past the outside edge. There is no run. 41 for 4. 20 needed to win. Elsewhere around the country, very briefly, Surrey's lower order make life difficult for Hampshire. If Hampshire were to win this round of matches, it's almost certain they would stay in the First Division. But Surrey 275 for 9. They're being held up by Taylor and Matt Fisher.
Matt Fisher's a very, very good cricketer, isn't he?
275 so the lead there for Surrey is 174. So it'll take a little bit of getting for Hampshire. Taylor in bowls. Carter comes down the wicket. Well, that was very un-Ollie Carter, and just a sign that he's just a bit edgy out there. He came charging down the wicket and tried to hoik that away over the leg side. It was an ugly shot. John Simpson, quite rightly, just coming down to have a little word to Ollie Carter. The other thing that's up for grabs is obviously the other relegation match, Yorkshire against Durham, into the third day. Yorkshire 365 for 7, leading by 19, and it does very much look as if Yorkshire will end in a draw, and that will be enough for Yorkshire to stay up.
Yeah.
And then just break off. As in comes Taylor again, bowls to Carter. He's a much more conventional shot this time, plays into the offside. There is no run. It would mean that Durham would be the draw for Durham. If Hampshire win, I think they'd stay up. If Hampshire lose and Durham draw, I think it means Hampshire would go down. So it looks very much as if relegation, to put that in some sort of context, is probably now between Hampshire and Durham. with all eyes really on what's going on down at the, I think they call it the Utilita Bowl these days.
Yeah.
Taylor in again, bowls. Carter is going to get runs. Well, involuntary runs. He's going to get 4 down to third. I'm not entirely sure he was looking to play that. He to me like he was
looking to take his bat away.
Yeah, he was, and the ball hit the bat. And
just stunned it, didn't he?
Yeah, so Carter goes to 11 and Sussex to 45 for 4, so 16 needed to win.
Yeah. So it will be all over in about the next 10 or 15 minutes, I would imagine. And we'll get our interviews done and get the afternoon free. The lawn will get cut. Adrian will have a leisurely journey home, and Birdlip Hill will be clear. Yeah, it will be home for tea.
Taylor in bowls to Carter, who defends down the offside of the track. There is no one. I will be driving home, but a little wistfully, really. Frank,
because he won't be here for a while.
Well, it's the last game, and it is, as we say, it is a long old winter, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure punctuated by the fact there is an Ashes series, which is going to keep us all interested in cricket. And I always think once you get into January, you think, well, it's January, February, hopefully the nights start to draw out a little bit, and we can all. Cricket never seems that far away. Mustn't wish our lives away, though, Frank.
No, indeed, absolutely right.
In comes Taylor, bowls, and Carter's hit on the pad. There's a loud appeal from Taylor, who's aghast that it's not given. But it's the end of the over. 45 for 4. Carter on 11. Simpson on 5. Sussex needing 16 more runs to win, but they've been given quite a scare in the last 45 minutes by Worcestershire, who have been giving their all.
Just outside the line, I think, that one from Carter, and he was playing a shot. Good decision by umpire Milnes. The umpires I think they've done pretty well in this game. They've been put under a fair bit of pressure. There was one catch that was not given, where Simpson caught a rebound from Coles at second slip, and Sussex were quite rightly, I think, felt hard done to, because he did appear to gather it cleanly, but the umpire's view was obscured and therefore he couldn't give it. So there was a spate of catches down the leg side yesterday that both sides thought were out and weren't given, and batters have probably not walked as they once did. So the umpires have been under quite a lot of pressure. I think they've got most of the big calls right. As Matthew Waite replaces Ben Allison.
Oh,
and John Simpson has holed out. Goodness gracious me. Matthew Waite, first ball, Simpson, that is the most un-Simpson-like shot I think I've seen for a long, long time. He's gone down the pitch and he's cracked it away on the leg side. A really big whack away on the leg side. He's got underneath it, and out there on the leg side boundary, Rehan Adavalath has dived forward and picked it up a couple of inches off the turf. And the fifth wicket is down. They're making heavy weather of it, let's put it that way, Sussex. They'll still get over the line, but they're making heavy weather of it. And John Simpson has gone to Matthew Waite's first ball, and it's 45 for 5.
I don't know why I'm laughing, really, but I mean, Sussex are making a mess and a half of this, aren't they, really? As I say, John Simpson, who batted so beautifully in the first innings, it was
mad. I mean, first ball. Why is he decided to do it? I don't know. It's just most un-Simpson-like thing. But he probably thinks, well, a couple of decent blows and it's all over.
Well, I'm sure actually that was in his mind, thinking, well, let's get this done and dusted.
Stop messing around. It's a good catch, actually.
Yes, it was.
Been some cracking catch. I mean, that Jones's slip catch was a good catch. That was a really good catch. And Worcester they've made a fight of it. It's not going to be enough, and they are, as we keep saying. Adrian made the point quite early on in this that if they ended up losing by 3 or 4 wickets, they're going to say, "Oh, if only we'd got another 30 or 40 in either innings." But who knows, it might not have happened like this if that had been the case. Now, I'll tell you what, one thing, I would definitely have a third man now. Because if Worcestershire are going to do this, they've got to pick up wickets. They've got 3 slips. You've got to find him from somewhere. But what you don't want is to bowl at the top of off stump and get the edge and see runs going down to third man. a run off his first ball for Carson as he turns this one down to long leg for a single. So 46 for 5, 15 more needed. Worcestershire have again made a go of it, but they just left themselves a little bit too much to do.
Yeah. I'm not sure who's over it. Is it you, Frank, or is it me?
It's me, yeah, it's
you
me.
Keep going.
It's me.
It's all kind of,
yeah, 46 for 5. They'll carry on. I mean, well, it'll be over by lunch, won't it? Anyway, 20 minutes to go. As Matthew Waite comes in and bowls to Carter, who is turning this one on the leg side, and will get a single past Latigan at mid-wicket. 47 for 5. 14 more needed. What a nonsense. It really is. They should have just come out and you would have thought just put 20 or 30 on the board and cruised. But it's actually, to be fair, been a good effort by the Worcester bowlers, and this pitch still offering assistance. This one next from Waite, driven up to mid-on where Taylor does the fielding. Taylor, I think he'll keep going from the Diglis end. Might fancy another one. Taylor, he's got 3. Wouldn't put it past him to pick up another couple and get another 5 foot. Yet another game here at Euro that isn't going to go into the last day. The surface has just been too helpful. Waite is in again and bowls, and that's again driven nicely up to mid-on by Carson. Taylor fields. The pitches here, Adrian, this year, they've really been difficult to categorize. I mean, early on, the first couple of games, they were just, it just went all over the place. But 200s have been scored in this game. Worcestershire got 280 odd and could have got 300 plus in their second innings. And we've seen lots of very confident shots by batsmen. It's really difficult to kind of sum up the nature of these pitches, and the players themselves have struggled. As this one's edged down to third man, and that's going to be 4. That's what I was talking about. Liable to happen, and it did. He's trying to bowl at the top of off stump, so if you're liable to find the outside edge, and if it goes along the ground, it's 4 runs every time. So that's what I was talking about at the start of the over. End of the over. 4 runs to Carson. He goes to 5. Just 10 needed now. 51 for 5. But they're not minefields.
No.
But they're just a feeling amongst the batters that at any point there is one that could just do enough, and that's been the story all through the season, really, here at New Road. Anyway, 10 needed.
Yeah.
It won't be long.
No. As I say, in comes Taylor, racing in, bowls to Carter, who's forward, defends down the offside, and there is no run. 3 slips in place, point, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, a deep mid-wicket and a fine leg. Ollie Carter standing firm. 12 off 29 balls, I think that is.
Yeah.
Frank. I think that's Paul Farbrae standing out at the far end. What's only one of the... No, maybe it's Grant Flower, not sure. In comes Taylor bowls. Carter defends onto the onside. There is no run. Not a huge crowd in today, as you would expect. I mean, probably 1 or 2 people think, well, you never know for the last... Oh, I bet they're glad they've come, actually.
Yeah.
For the last... you're going to see a couple of hours cricket.
9 wickets.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
9 wickets in less than a session.
Yes.
We're not finished yet.
No, absolutely. Taylor. Over the wicket bowl. Carter pulls. Is he going to get caught? No, he's not. He's pulled that over mid-on, and it's gone for 4 runs. I thought for a minute he'd spoon that to mid-on, But he went over the head of mid-on. It was short. I don't think he got all of it, in fairness, Frank.
No, I don't think he did.
But he goes to 16, and Sussex now within 6 of victory. But when he hit that, I thought for a minute that was just going to balloon to mid-on, and a 6th wicket would go down. But he took on the short ball. So credit to Carter for doing that. He goes to 16. And Sussex to 55 for 5. So 6 needed to win. Taylor wheels around at the far end. I think that's Grant Flower at the far end of the ground. Actually, watching his batters, probably thinking crumbs, more work needed. In comes Taylor bowls, and Carter sits on the pad, and he's given! And a 6th wicket goes down, and Ollie Carter is on his way, and Tom Taylor picks up another wicket, and that may well take him back to the top of the wicket-taking chart. Carter is gone for 16, and Sussex are 55 for 6. And they are limping, dragging themselves towards the finishing line. But I keep on saying, well done Worcestershire. It would have been very easy with 61 needed to win to think, oh well, they're already relegated. But they've done what all professional cricketers should do. Any professional team should do. You play until the last whistle or until the last run is scored, and that's exactly what Worcestershire have done.
Good time to get a hat trick.
Oh dear, oh dear. wouldn't that just be a...
Well, Tommy Taylor, what a season he's had.
Yeah, magnificent. Let's have a look at these.
8 in this game.
Well, it does show top now, the wicket-taking charts.
Yeah.
It shows him on 57. That may not have updated with... I mean, it does update pretty quickly, the information.
I think I can...
It's showing here 57.
I'm using my old book.
And his
I've got
figure...
everything written down.
He's got 4 for 18.
So 54, 50, that's his 58. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
In my book, anyway.
He's played in every game. He's bowled 422 overs, according to the stats. So he's a durable, quick bowler, is Tom Taylor. In fact, looking through, I see Kyle Abbott has bowled 446 overs. But you know, he's bowled as Ben Rain 420. He's a good character, isn't it? Ethan Bamber 464, good bowler. But that's a brilliant effort. 6 to win.
6 to win. Goodness me.
Ridiculous, isn't it? What an end to the season, Frank. Taylor comes into bowl to Danny Lamb. Lamb takes a couple of steps down the wicket. My word, that was a little dangerous, wasn't it? I mean,
there's a tiny bit of scrambled thinking out there at the moment.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he took a couple of steps down the wicket. I mean, he. Well, something's made everybody laugh down below. So, well, I was saying the spectators are probably glad they've come in. They've seen 10 wickets go down this morning in an hour and 3/4.
And it hasn't been down to the pitch, has it really?
No, not at all. Some strange shots from the Sussex players. Taylor in bowls to Lamb, takes steps down the wicket. Oh, it would have been a third. If there was a third slip, if there were a before slip, it'd have been gone. He's edged that down to third man, and it's gone for 4 runs. Well, that was a genuine edge. Lamb has got 4 runs. And Tom Taylor's getting a terrific round of applause. That may well be the last over he bowls this season. And what a magnificent effort. I have to say, that is fabulous. 4 for 22, Frank.
Yeah.
He's bowled as if his life depends on it. What a wonderful cricketer. Looks like he's going to finish as the leading wicket taker in Division 1 of the County Championship. That's just brilliant. And I have to say, if there was a 4th slip in there, more than likely Danny Lamb would have gone.
Yeah, I think he would.
Sussex might have been 7 down. As it is, they need 2 to win.
Yeah. Well bowled, Tom Taylor.
Brilliant. Really, really excellent. And that's a very well-deserved round of applause from the New Road faithful.
Yeah, really good effort from Tommy Taylor. Matthew Waite to bowl, and he gets the wicket. Jack Carson looks to finish it by hitting it away on the leg side, misses it, and he is LBW. So Matthew Waite picks up his second, and not wishing Adrian to labour the point, but goodness me, you said it when the score was about 20 for 2. How Worcestershire must wish they'd just got another 50 or so. Goodness me, they're going to lose, but it's 59 for 7.
Well, ridiculous, isn't it, really? I mean, Sussex, you know, you'd think are going to win this game, but I have to say...
It's nonsense.
It is, really.
2 runs needed, and he just thought, didn't he, just whack this away on the leg side, game over, get some lunch on the bus home, happy days as it is.
Well, I think Ollie Robinson,
yeah, well,
when he got those wickets,
if he gets the winning runs,
he probably wouldn't have thought to himself, oh well, I'll be batting. He'd probably packed his kit away, I expect.
Yeah.
I don't know whether players do that, but well, Sussex. I don't know if you heard that on the radio.
I did, yeah.
So somebody shouted out, "You're a one-man team, Ollie." Well, you have to say he's taken 10 wickets. He was the third top scorer in the Sussex first innings. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. Simpson 129, Coles 102. Ollie Robinson was third top scorer on 24. He's taken 10 wickets in the match. And I just wonder whether he's going to score the winning runs, whether he might get out. You said a good time to get a hat-trick, Frank.
Yeah.
My goodness me.
Wouldn't it be?
My
good
goodness
time to
me.
get 4 in 4.
Oh, dear.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You just don't know what you're going to see when you turn up to a game of cricket, do you?
12 wickets were seen. No, 11 wickets were seen this morning, Frank.
Mad. Here's Matthew Waite then, into Robinson. In balls, and that is it. Robinson punches it away for 4. He finishes 4 not out. Danny Lamb finishes 4 not out. And Sussex are the winners by 3 wickets.
Well, what a game of cricket, Frank, and I think handshakes all round, but I think we have to give an enormous amount of credit to Worcestershire for really making it a terrific game of cricket. Short from Matthew Waite, and Ollie Robinson just helped the ball away through the leg side. It's Sussex's 4th win of the season. A dramatic game, and those that have turned up today have seen a really super couple of hours cricket to finish off the season. The Sussex players will be making their way down the dressing room steps in a minute to all shake hands, but I hope we'll get a good ovation here for Tom Taylor, because that was just a brilliant display of quick bowling.
Well, it's just been announced that he's the leading wicket taker in Division 1, and he gets a great deal of credit for that. 22 points for Sussex, 3 points for Worcestershire, which just underlines Worcestershire's position at the bottom of the table in many ways. Matthew Waite finishes with figures of 1.2 overs, no maidens, 2 for 10. 63 for 7 wickets, 12 extras. They made heavy weather of it.
Oh, just a little bit.
But they have got over the line. Just to recap then, earlier today, Worcestershire 270 for 6 overnight, all out for 287. Sussex 63 for 7.
I think hopefully Tom Taylor's going to lead off here, Frank. I hope so. Actually, it's Jake Livy, I think, who's leading Worcestershire off.
Second in line.
Handshakes all round. The end of another cricket season, sadly. But what a finish to the game. And Worcestershire nearly pulling off what would have been the miracle of miracles. And smiles all around New Road. The spectators have thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you probably have to say Ollie Robinson probably man of the match with his 10 wickets and hitting the winning runs. But it's been a super game. And can I just say thank you to you, Frank? It's always immensely enjoyable coming to New Road, Worcester. I'm very sorry we're not going to be here next year. Maybe we'll be here for a limited overs game. But to you and Brad and everyone at Worcester, thank you for making me so welcome. It's been brilliant.
It's been a pleasure. That was Adrian Harms from BBC Radio Sussex. We've also had the company of Nathan Johns for the first 2 days in the commentary box. Thanks to him.